The following program contains shocking expressions of free speech. If you suffer from being tongue-tied, ankylosing, Randall might not be right for you. Check with your romper room teacher.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. The only TV host arrested more times than Mahatma Gandhi, Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the nation's #1 Tea Party television show. Oh, that hurt. My arthritis is killing me. Bad hand, bad hand. In today's program, we're going to talk about the moron who shot bullets at the White House and the fact that Herman Cain is the first Republican to get Secret Service protection, and my good friend and associate Gary Boyclair has announced his run for the U.S. House against Muslim Keith Ellison. Oh yeah, the guy who swore his oath to uphold the Constitution on a Quran. Go figure. Today's program brought to you in part by CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, deceiving Americans about the nature of Islam for nearly 20 years. And by The Camel. Good milk, good meat. Good gracious, let's eat. There's nothing like a camel kebab. I'll be right back after a quick word from my friend, Sir Reggie Bling. No, I think I figured out what to do. What you need is for Clarence Thomas and Herman Cain to be brought together on the same stage, and then let every left-wing lunatic have a low-tech, a high-tech, and a medium-tech lynching. Because at the end of the day, that is what this is all about. It is not about whether Herman Cain committed a sin. Let's assume for a minute he did. Do you really believe that Barack Hussein Obama and about a string of other presidents have not done that? It's about who has the levers of power up there in media land, whether or not they're going to say the truth about one man and cover up the sins of another. So, Clarence, why don't you come on over and help your homeboy Herman Cain take him to school, because this butt whooping is not over. Oscar Romero Ortega Hernandez. That is the name of the 21-year-old man from Idaho who has been arrested by federal authorities and charged with attempting to assassinate President Obama. He said that he thought Obama was, quote, the Antichrist, close quote, and that the federal government was out to get him. Let me start off by saying that, in my opinion, this is a very unstable young man. 21 years old. Who's he trying to impress? A girl? Some cult leader in Idaho? This is insanity, literally, okay? Theologically, let me tell anyone who has a clue, Obama is not the Antichrist, okay? He isn't the Antichrist. Henry Kissinger wasn't the Antichrist. Bill Clinton wasn't the Antichrist. Obama is not the Antichrist. He might be anti-Christian in many of his policies, but he's not the Antichrist. The Antichrist, according to 1 John, is someone who denies that Jesus is the Christ. Okay? Obama is not that. Second of all, and I want to say what I'm about to say carefully and slowly, because I want those of you who fear God and love this country to stop and take deep breaths. Number one, I confess, I despise this presidency. I hate what Barack Hussein Obama is doing to this country. Many of you do as well. But listen to me, 55% of Catholics voted for this man. 35% of evangelicals voted for Barack Obama. Mainline Protestants voted for him. 75% of this country claims that it's Christian. 75% of us have a Trinitarian baptism. And the majority of Americans who voted for Barack Obama. We, in many ways, please God, have mercy on us. In many ways, we deserve what we've gotten. Okay? Number three, this man can be taken out of office in a year. Many people who are watching me right now, you hate this man. You hate Barack Obama. You hate this presidency, which I despise this president. I admit it. I don't hate him as a man, but I hate his policies. I hate this presidency. Many times we get so filled with rage, just rage, that we hate someone. And there's some of you who actually wish this man ill to his person, okay? Let me talk directly to you for a minute. I beg you to pray for the safety of Barack Obama. Pray for his physical safety, for Mrs. Obama's physical safety, for their children to be physically safe. If any physical harm came to Barack Hussein Obama, the African American community in this nation, and perhaps other minorities, but for sure, the African American community in some of the inner cities would begin, in my opinion, would begin to riot. Oh, Randall, how dare you say that? Do you remember Rodney King? Do you remember other riots that happened in the 60s? When Martin Luther King was assassinated, there were burnings that happened in various cities around the country. Riots, violence. If this president was physically harmed, there would be an outbreak of riots and violence in some of our inner cities. It would just happen, friends. And with violence of that nature, uncontrolled, random rage, comes fires and looting. Forget the looting. Look what happened with Rodney King. Look at what happened in the 60s. We would see large portions of some of our major cities go up in flames. Do you want our nation to erupt in flames, literally, physically, in various parts of the country? That is a very likely outcome if this man got hurt. He is the leader of the free world. He is the president of the United States of America. Look, I'm running against him, okay? I really despise this presidency, but he's still the president of the United States. And even though his policies are tyrannical, he is not the classic definition of a tyrant because we can get rid of him with the ballot box. Remember, the vote is war by another means. The reason we have elections is so that we don't have to have violence. So I beg you to join me in praying for Barack Obama's safety. Please, God, keep this man safe. Please. And please, God, help him be defeated in 2012. Can I get a witness? Amen. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, my friend Gary Boyclair has announced his run for the U.S. House against Muslim Congressman Keith Ellison. We're going to actually play for you Gary's announcement, and I promise you, Gary is already creating a firestorm and has a lot of ill will coming towards him. And we'll talk about Herman Cain. Don't go away.
President Obama is the first case of polio since the widespread use of the Sabin and Salk vaccines. Infantile paralysis.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living drink.
Moments with Moses. The Lord will make the pestilence cleave to you until he has consumed you off the land which you are entering to take possession of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Boyclair's announcement for the U.S. House.
I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives in the 8th District of Ohio. That's Speaker Boehner's district, if you didn't know already. Now, Speaker Boehner and Representative Ellison have a lot more in common than they would like to tell you about. Speaker Boehner continuously votes for continuing resolutions that fund the abortion giant Planned Parenthood. Keith Ellison does the same. The fruits of Planned Parenthood funding is dead babies. Now, Representative Boehner and Ellison also continuously fund unconstitutional entitlements. They're one and the same. They're the establishment. Now, I'm running in the Republican primary against Boehner, and the person I'm introducing, Gary Boyclair, is running as a DFLer against Keith Ellison. Now, I'm here to support Gary, a Republican supporting a Democrat, and we have a lot in common, actually, just like Keith Ellison and John Boehner have in common, a Democrat and Republican. I stand for principle over party. That means that no matter what the party line is, even if it's funding Planned Parenthood or unconstitutional entitlements, I am not a party guy, I'm a principle guy, and that's exactly what Gary Boyclair is. Now, it is my honor and privilege to introduce a man of integrity, a man of principle, Gary Boyclair.
Thank you, David. Thank you. This is a great time to not have a voice. I made the mistake of going to the Vikings game yesterday. I've got family near me here and friends. Grew up in northeast Minneapolis, right around here. Also grew up out in Buffalo, Minnesota, fishing, water skiing. I've spent the better part of 40 years in Minnesota. I intend to beat Representative Keith Ellison in the bid for the 5th Congressional District in Minnesota. The things I'm about to say might make a few people feel just a little bit uncomfortable, but it reminds me of some uncomfortable words that Mr. Hubert Humphrey said back in 1948. His big words bringing up civil rights. He was talking about progress. He must have used the word 10 times in that speech, how we need progress in morality, and especially, he said, for the minorities. It's a funny thing that we've got a representative right now in the DFL who says that he's fighting for minorities. Mr. Ellison, you are fighting against the minorities. And how are you doing that, Mr. Representative? You're supporting Planned Parenthood with so many votes, so many of your votes. And guess what? Planned Parenthood loves Keith Ellison. Planned Parenthood kills about 1,000 babies a day. Today, they've got those murders scheduled. It's happening right now. Abortion is murder. Tell me, Representative Ellison, is legalized murder progress? Is that the progress that Mr. Humphrey talked about for the minorities? I don't think so. I want you to go, please, DFLers, see my prototype TV ads that I will be showing. Go to www.garyinthehouse.com. Minneapolis and St. Paul will see just how ugly Ellison's progress is. I intend to show the graphic images of the victims of abortion. The nation will see what Ellison's progress really looks like. If Mr. Humphrey was here today, he would fight against Ellison. Humphrey and Ellison have two completely different ideas of what progress is. Ellison thinks that progress is the murder of babies. I've got a problem with that. DFL, it's time to choose. Murder, the slaughter of babies with Ellison, or life with me. DFL, it's also time for you to choose when it comes to liberty or socialism. Yes, you get to choose between those two things now, since I'll be running in the primary against Mr. Ellison. Ellison is in lockstep with our dear President Obama and all of his socialist agenda. All of those entitlements that we take for granted, that we just expect are a part of normal life. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, those need to be phased out. Currently, Keith Ellison is helping us to be enslaved to debt for years and years to come, enslaving our kids to crushing debt, runaway inflation. He's forcing us to give. Does that sound like compassion? Mr. Ellison likes to talk about compassion. Hey, when you force me to pay for somebody else for their education, for their retirement, for their health, whatever it is, that's not compassion. Mr. Ellison, I thought you were smart. I thought you were intelligent. DFLers, lastly, it's time for you to choose. You get to choose between freedom of speech and religion with me, or Sharia law with Mr. Ellison. Yes, that's the choice that stands before you. Mr. Ellison, as you well know, took the oath of office to uphold the Constitution with his hand, excuse me, on a Quran. Inside the Quran, there are many places where it speaks of violence against people that are infidels, blasphemers. Who are these wicked people? They're Jews and Christians, and they're named as such in the Quran. The Quran says that the opposite hands and feet of those Christians ought to be cut off and that they ought to be crucified and killed. Is that a religion of peace? The Quran forms a part of Sharia law. It is an integral part of Sharia law, which is the code of ethics which controls every aspect of a Muslim's life. On these three issues, DFLers, you have to choose between life or murder, between liberty or socialism, between freedom of religion and speech or Sharia law. Thank you very much. I'll take any questions you might have.
Why are you coming out today and doing this?
Today, it's a time to start up. The primary season is going to get going underway, going to get funding together so that we can show the TV ads across to the whole metro area. This must begin now.
You have a lot of funding right now for this?
The funding will be coming. It has not arrived yet, but I've got confidence. I've got friends around the nation. Thank you. Live in a couple places. I live in Minnesota when I come to visit often, and I also live out near DC. I spend most of my time out there, but I don't know if I spend as much time out there as Representative Ellison does away from Minnesota. But I am out in the DC area, up on Capitol Hill. I see him walking on the sidewalks. I've spent the better part of 40 years in Minnesota. Thank you very much. I think my chances are very good, and I'll tell you why. In my travels around the nation, I am meeting Democrats, lifelong Democrats, who take me aside and say, "Psst, don't tell anybody else, but I'm really pro-life." I hear these things from people. I know that there are many, I'll say even Catholics out there too, that have been lifelong Democrats, DFLers here in Minnesota. Same thing. They're looking for someone that they can rally behind. They don't find a leader in Ellison. They've got a chance with me. The way the question is framed, I wouldn't take it quite that way. I have a problem with a book that speaks about my crucifixion and my death because of my beliefs as a Christian, okay? We need to be very clear. I am not talking about attacking a person. I'm talking about reading some words in a book. The Quran is not a book of peace. Thank you very much.
Friend, go to Gary in the house and see Gary's first commercial dealing with Islam and Sharia law, and you'll know why Gary's life could be threatened. I'll be right back.
Yeah, up there, our police escort. We're that important, baby. Oh, thanks. You guys are awesome. Stopping traffic for us. Thank you.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
If we are together, nothing is impossible. If we are divided, all will fail. Sir Winston Churchill. Friend, I apologize. This segment is going to be short. I'm way over on my time. Let me cut to the chase. Herman Cain is the first to qualify for Secret Service protection. I asked you to pray for Barack Obama's safety. Pray for Herman Cain's safety. You can believe that there are people that will want to see him dead. Here's the other thing that's really funny about this. It's not Mitt Romney. And all of the elite in Washington, D.C. and in New York, the little talking heads and the flapping jaws who've never done much with their lives. Show me your scars on your back, you pontificating morons. They've all been saying Herman Cain can't be taken seriously. Guess what? He's serious enough that the Secret Service is giving him some protection. Oh, 1 Cain, 0 elitists. I'll be right back. Because he cleaves to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble and will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
John Quincy Adams said, "To believe all men honest would be folly. To believe none so is something worse." Friend, there are Machiavellian political leaders who are liars. But there are people like Gary Boyd Clare, Gary in the House, who are honest. They mean what they are saying, and they're willing to risk their lives to stand up for human life, for liberty, and for justice. We need men of that type of character in office. Good gracious, let's eat. There's nothing like a camel kebab.